What are the numbers on the motor? What is kV? Why is propeller size important? There are letters and numbers on the motors. The sizes are expressed by a 4-digit number sequence. The letters in front of the 4-digit number sequence are not related to sizes. They are usually related to the identification of a brand's models. The first 2 digits indicate the stator diameter. The next 2 digits represent the stator length. Some motor manufacturers define the motor by the frame dimensions instead of the stator dimensions. For example, these two motors are in the same class and sizes. But the motor on the left is defined by the stator dimensions and the motor on the right is defined by the frame dimensions. The ideal is to classify by the stator sizes. kV is the number of revolutions per minute of the motor when 1 volt is applied to the motor with no load connected. kV does not mean kilovolt. It should not be confused with kilovolt, which is defined by a lowercase k and an uppercase V. When 10 volts are applied to a 1000 kV motor, as in this example, a speed of approximately 10,000 revolutions per minute is obtained. If 12 volts is applied, a speed of approximately 12,000 revolutions per minute is obtained. Another example is a 1400 kV motor. When 10 volts are applied, a speed of approximately 14,000 revolutions per minute is obtained. Motors with the same physical dimensions may have different kV values. On the other hand, motors with different physical dimensions may have the same kV value. One thing to note is that as the kV value increases, the propeller size should decrease. Using a propeller that is much larger than recommended can cause a motor to draw too much current. This can result in the motor overheating. which can cause damage to the motor. The negative effect of a large propeller is not too much for the ESC. If the current drawn by the motor is below the current capacity of the ESC will not be damaged. A slight increase in temperature will not damage the ESC. Using a propeller much smaller than the recommended dimensions will not cause damage to the motor or ESC, because the motor will draw much less current than normal. However, with a propeller that is too small, sufficient thrust force will not be generated. Thank you for watching my video. Videomu izlediğiniz için teşekkürler.